What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to Taking Command with Josh Taylor. And after an exciting Monday Night Football upset against the Philadelphia Eagles in their own stadium, we wake up to some good news this morning, something we've been talking about a lot, and that is waiting on some updates on our star edge, Chase Young. I've been going back and forth all season long. Should he play? Should he sit out? How's he look with that brace on? So on. I mean, it wasn't just a regular ACL tear. It was like ACL, MCL. There was a ton of ligaments damage. I mean, it wasn't good at all. But woke up this morning, according to Adam Schefter, Chase Young will play against the Texans, which for me is what I've been hoping for all along. Especially with that 21-day window, that Texans game was the last game for him to be at least active. He doesn't have to play. There's not like a snap count or anything like that. He at least had to be active for the game. So he doesn't get shut down for the whole year. If you don't come back in that 21-day window and you're at least active a game, then they shut you down for the rest of the season, which some people want, some people don't want. I'm still torn on what I want because obviously I want to see him out there, but also want him to be at 100%. And I want to see him just ball out like I'm expecting him to, but I don't know what kind of Chase Young we're going to be getting. So not the longest video today, but I just wanted to talk about it real quick. Like I said, once again, he will be playing more than likely if practice goes well, according to John Keim. If there's any kind of setback, obviously he's not going to play and they would shut him down for the rest of the season. Hopefully that's not what happens. Hopefully he does play. And what I'm expecting, I'm not expecting him to start, honestly. Maybe they'll put him out there to start, but I don't think he's going to really get that starting role right away. But I don't think they're going to just throw him out there and say, all right, this is, you're going to get as many snaps as like Sweat does, for instance. And honestly, the whole defensive line's been balling right now. I mean, this is probably the best I've ever seen out of the defensive line in a long time. And like they've finally started playing up to their potential. And it's not even just, the inside, the outside of the line. It's Jonathan Allen, Dron Payne, Montez Sweat, but they're still down Phil Darius Mathis, Chase Young. They've got some key guys out. They lost, two guys last offseason. We were kind of worried about how this defensive line was going to look. But then you've got guys like Casey Toohill. F.A. Obata has been stepping up, been huge. James Smith-Williams has had some really good key moments. But then also, like I said, once again, John Ridgeway, some of these guys we just signed, some young guys have just been stepping up on the defense. So that's really helped out a lot. It hasn't really had a pressure of, hey, we need to start Chase Young. When you have, James Smith-Williams, Casey Toohill, F.A. Obata, just rotating and, fresh legs, which is what I expect to still happen. I think those guys are still going to get a good bit of reps. I don't think Chase Young's going to be playing 60, 70% of snaps the first game. If he does, cool. But just kind of concerning what Jack Del Rio said the other day, how he's not at full speed like last week. Matter of fact, it wasn't even that long ago. And then, so I mean, it's just kind of different reports like, oh yeah, he's at 100%. But then Jack Del Rio's like, yeah, he's not. He's not full speed right now. And he does have that big brace on. So it is, it is a lot to really think about. But then also you don't know what to expect. So for me, going into the season, honestly, my expectations were, don't expect him to play at all this season. And if he plays, then that's just an added bonus. Don't go into the season like, oh, we need Chase Young to play. He needs to, be getting strip sacks and have this impact. Yes, of course, that would be great. He was one of our top picks, as high as we drafted him. But still, my expectations is let him just get back into that playing condition. Don't just throw him out there to where something bad happens. You want him to be the future of, your defense, essentially. Especially with how you drafted him, you want him to be that leader on the outside. We don't know what, Montez Sweat's future looks like because you got to pay him, you got to pay Dron Payne, you got to pay a bunch of guys. But essentially, you really want him to be back to his normal self. I don't know if that's possible. So I think what I'm going to be looking for in this Texans game is just how much he plays. But then also just how comfortable he looks. Is he, favoring one side? Is he, kind of hesitant? Is that burst not there, off the line right away? Just, I want to see what his game looks like now. And I'm not going to, base it off of just that first game, but I think we'll get a good idea through the rest of the season what that looks like. But nonetheless, he's back. If nothing bad happens in practice, I think he'll play limited snaps. I think he'll rotate in, but I would just love to see him back out there. His energy, his leadership, he gets those guys fired up. I mean, you see him on the sidelines, big old plug in his mouth. He's always running on the field. I mean, especially when I was at the Vikings game, that dude was out on the field after every play, getting hyped up every time they were hitting Kirk Cousins. And then, like I said, last night, the defensive line didn't have the craziest numbers against Jalen Hurts, but the pressure was there. They did a good job of stopping the run and just straight up control the game. And obviously, the turnovers in the back end. Shout out to John Ridgway once again, another good pickup, getting that fumble. So the defense is playing phenomenal, but the fact that we get Chase Young back and that this defense could get even better, that's great. Great news. Once again, I'm not expecting him to be some, Bosa type right away, kind of impact. And that's not realistic. So I don't think anyone should think that way. But just be happy that he's back. Hopefully he can get back to his normal self. We've got a good little stretch here at the end of the season. So I think we'll get a good idea of what he looks like. And what we can expect out of him maybe next season after he gets a full off season. But still super excited to have Chase Young back. Hope you are too. Drop in the comments what you think. If you're glad he's back, if you think he shouldn't be playing, what you're looking for, what your expectations are, and whatever. But subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button because I'll be going live all the time. If you're watching this on Tuesday, I'm going live tonight to talk about the Eagles game last night. And if you're watching this ahead of Tuesday, hit that subscribe and notification button so you get notified the next time I do go live, so you can stop by in the show, drop your comments. Let me know what you think about what we're talking about. And as always, here on Taking Command with Josh Taylor, season's rolling. It's been crazy. Looking forward to getting back to FedEx Field again against the Falcons. But we have the Texans coming up. So good little stretch. The playoffs aren't 100% out of the picture somehow. They don't know how we're still alive. The NFC is just that bad. But still, can't wait to see y'all tonight and in the future here on the channel. So subscribe so you don't miss out. Peace.